As for Williams, although they have a very promising driver in Nico Rosberg, it's just to see if this car has the car to make it, as they've had failure after failure these past seasons. I look for Williams to be as a 5th or 6th team in the championship. They have the potential to do it. It's just if they can make it. They have a pretty good team with Rosberg and Nakajima, and it will be good to see if they can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Mainly, I look for them to improve along the season more than make a run for the championship, and maybe see a light at the end of the tunnel and become a powerhouse as they were in the past. Now, going on to my next team, Force India. Unfortunately for them, I believe they will remain at the end of the pack, but it'll be important to see if they can improve once again along the season. They have a promising driver in Adrian Sutil. It'll be important to see how good he does with a, let's face it, a mediocre car in this sport. Now, my last team, Toro Rosso. I believe the Italian team will take a step back this year, as they have lost Sebastian Vettel to Red Bull this year, and I believe they'll be at the end of the pack, unfortunately for them. Their car shows promise. It's powered by Ferrari, which is never a bad thing. Yeah, it's just to see if they can remain as competitive last year. As for the Constructors' title, I look for a repeat of Ferrari with their strong duo of Felipe Massa and Kimi Räikkönen. I believe they have the most depth in their team. With two very good veterans, Felipe Massa can become a Formula One champion. It'll just take time, but I believe he will be one day. And Kimi Räikkönen, after a long wait, had it 2 years ago. It'll be important to see if he can go back to his form of that year. McLaren, I will put second, mainly because Lewis Hamilton, he will still have reliable cars. They have also Heikki Kovalainen, which is a young, older than Hamilton, but still a young driver that will look to push, make a stand this year, as he has been somewhat of underachieving. But we'll see what happens with them. I will put BMW in third. I believe Robert Kubica has what it takes to potentially be a world champion, but I don't believe it will be this year. I think BMW will be more of a closer to a second-tier team, but they believe they can really push for the championship. It will be good to see if Nick Heidfeld can rebound from last year's disappointments. He got beat out by Kubica as the first driver. He had a very poor start to the season, improved along the year. It'll be exciting to see if he can continue on that stride. Basically, that's basically it for my top 4 teams. And for my 4th positions, I will put Renault, mainly because of Spaniard Fernando Alonso. I look for him to redeem himself, go back to the form of a couple of years ago where he won 2 straight championships with Renault. The load of the points will be coming from him, as Nelson Piquet Jr. last season didn't do very good. It will be important to see if he has improved and can help Fernando Alonso in the Constructors' Championship. Now from positions 5 to 9, I see Red Bull with Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber, very solid team. It'll be important to see how they do. They will score regularly in points, and I believe they will even push for Renault for the top 4 spot in the team's championship. After that, I have Toyota in 6. They're always underachieving, so it'll be important to see how they do. They might just blow our minds this year. We never know with them. They spend, but there hasn't been results. It'll be good to see if they can do. I'll put Braun GP, Ross Brown's team, in 7th, just because I don't really know what to expect from this team. It's come last minute. It'll be good to see if Braun can make this team a winner. He has in the past with other teams, so it'll be good to see if he can use his genius to help them. And in 8th place after Braun GP, I'll put Toro Rosso and Force India, mainly because they don't have much experience with their drivers. Toro Rosso will be relying mostly on Sebastian Bourdais, which was his rookie year last year, and Force India will be relying on Adrian Sutil, which is very young as well. So I don't look for them to do much this year. It'll just be exciting to see them fight out for the top, not to be named the last place team. Last but not least, I'll talk about the driver's title with, I believe, 5 guys that can potentially win it. Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa, Fernando Alonso, and Robert Kubica are my 5 candidates that could potentially win the driver's title. For Kimi Räikkönen and Felipe Massa, the 2 Ferrari drivers, they had a very disappointing season last year. Felipe Massa, mainly because of his heartbreaking loss. He could be proud of his overall season, but just the last race was so heartbreaking. I believe he kept a bad taste of our season. And Kimi Räikkönen looks to redeem himself after he could never get it started last year. It'll be exciting to see if he can get it back on track. After that, there's Lewis Hamilton. He's always a threat. He's a very good driver, young driver. If he goes back to his form of last year, he'll have no trouble to hunt for the championship and potentially win it. Also, now there's Robert Kubica and Fernando Alonso. They look to make a push for the championship this year. Renault has shown improvement from last year. Fernando Alonso was very happy with the end of the season and looks to continue in that stride and go back to the form of a couple of years where he won 2 straight championships. Also, Robert Kubica, he was very mad last year when basically BMW pulled out of the championship race. He looks to take this car over the top. Signs are good that he could potentially do it, as the car has shown very good results early in the season. And that's my top 5. I believe a Ferrari driver will win it. I just can't decide between Felipe Massa and Kimi Räikkönen. But I believe as the Ferrari is a more powerful car, it's proven less reliable in the past seasons, but the Ferrari drivers have always been winning most of the races, so it'll be good to see if they can dominate this year. Heikki Kovalainen, I believe he'll be fighting for the 5th or 6th spot. I don't believe he's a threat to the top 5 really, but he's a good young driver. He'll learn from his experiences, and it'll be important to see how he does. Also, Sebastian Vettel, I believe he could be a surprise this year and even compete for the top 5 spots, maybe even top 3. We'll see. If he has the car to do so, then he could potentially be a threat for the top 3. He has the talent, it's just to see if he has the car. As for his teammate, Mark Webber, I'll place him in 7th place. They have a good car, he's a good driver, a good veteran. He'll rack up points. I believe he'll make the top 10. After that, I put Braun GP's Jenson Button. They'll be a surprise this year. Watch them with Ross Brawn. He does anything with nothing. So watch out for them. And after that, I'll put Toyota's Jarno Trulli in 9th. And to round up the top 10, I'll put Nico Rosberg. So basically, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in to Transit Sports with Joshua Boxerman at www.transitstop.com. Come visit us. The site's going great. We're going to get video games soon on there. So please come visit us. Doesn't cost anything to just click on our site. Every visit helps us. So thank you very much for your support and have a good one. See you later.